Welcome back to my channel. Yesterday, for the first time, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu went on Triggernometry, and for the very first time, he was able to respond to one of the most controversial claims that have been flying around, especially by people like Candace Owens. She has been very, very vocal about it, that the IDF and the Israelis, especially Netanyahu himself, were kind of pre-informed before October 7th attack. So for the first time, we have the opportunity to listen and see what he has to say by himself, not preliminary reports by IDF and the White House giving us statements that denying that the Israeli government knew something. It's really incredible that we have the opportunity to listen to Bibi himself and hear what he has to say. Let's take a listen.
Prime Minister, I know this might feel like a strange question, but I do think it's important, and it's a question many people are asking, is you clearly have incredible penetration of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard in Iran. You have incredible penetration of Hezbollah. I don't know how embedded your operatives were within Gaza and Hamas. How did your intelligence services not see this coming? I mean, you've talked often about the fact that the London Underground is smaller than the tunnel network in Gaza. How come you didn't know? And if you did, how come it was not a red flag that all of this was about to happen?
Well, all of that, I think, will be answered by this impartial investigation. But I think part of it was a mindset that said that Hamas is deterred and Hamas is not going to do it. And that's a very big part of it. But on day 2 of the war, I said when Hezbollah joined after day 1, they joined day 2. And I said, we will change the face of the Middle East, because for me, it was very clear that we were not only fighting Hamas, but we were fighting Iran with its various proxies, this noose of death that they wanted to strangle us with. And I think that that's the larger understanding that everybody has today. I don't think many people believed me at the time, but it was obvious to me that it's not enough to hit very hard, hit Hamas and hobble Hezbollah, but that we'd have to deal also with their sponsors and the larger axis that made this possible. So I think those lessons have been learned, certainly by Israel, and by acting against Iran's terror axis, which is meant to ultimately to conquer the West. That's what these people think. That's what they believe in. It's irrational. You say, do you believe that? Can you believe that people would actually think we'd deliver death to America and we'd destroy Europe? No, they couldn't possibly mean that. Well, what do you think? Do you think they mean it or not?
Well, they keep chanting it, so I'm tempted to believe them, yes.
So when you believe them, exactly the point. When you believe them, then since I believed it, I think that what we had to do was ultimately take on Iran itself. And of course, on day 2, after you suffered the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust, it may seem, a ridiculous goal, an imaginary goal. No, it wasn't. It was very clear. We'll turn back. Israel will recover very quickly, and fight back and demolish Hamas, and then demolish Hezbollah, and then demolish the Assad regime, and then hit very strongly, hit Iran in ways that surprised the world. And I'm very proud of the people of Israel who stood fast, and I'm very proud of the soldiers of Israel. I call this incredible 12-day war with Iran, I call it the Rising Lion operation. And I did that because in the Bible it says that the people of Israel will rise like lions. And that's exactly what our soldiers did. And I'm very proud of them.
First of all, I don't think that Hamas is deterred is a good enough reason to explain the entire failure that took place on October 7th. Hamas cannot be deterred when Iran, on October 7th, 2023, Iran was still very, very active, chanting death to Israel, death to America. So Iran was Hamas' biggest sponsors. So there's no way Hamas would be deterred when Iran is there, still pulling the strings. So I just feel that however difficult it is, at some point it's okay to admit that the intel failed, the entire intelligence failed. Maybe they got the information, but they underestimated what Hamas could do. I mean, it's a large-scale operation, so they probably were like, "Oh, Hamas is too small. They are too uncoordinated to carry out such a large-scale attack." I think that's what happened. The intel failed. They probably got the information, but they discarded it. They didn't take it seriously. That's the most plausible explanation to this. I mean, something like that has happened before. In 1973, it happened in Egypt, Yom Kippur War. So that was actually October 6th, 1973. The intel failed completely. So I think it's more of an intelligence failure. They got the intelligence, but they ignored it. They didn't expect it to be true. Probably due to the scale excuse me, probably due to the scale of the attack. Yeah, the attack was kind of not something anybody would expect a small militia like Hamas to be able to carry out. 1,000 people died, killed in less than 12 hours, 5,000 wounded, and about 200 and something kidnapped, 250 kidnapped. It's a very large scale operation, and nobody, Hamas, you'd be like Hamas, they do not have the capacity to carry out such a large scale operation. And I think that's what happened. They underestimated the capacity of the militia, the Hamas militia, and it took them unawares. That's the most plausible explanation to all this. I don't believe that they knew it would happen and let it happen in order to carry out a bigger objective, just like Candace Owens is trying to project. I don't think that makes any sense. The death count they are just too much, 1,500, in order to achieve an occupational objective. No, it's treason on its own. I don't believe it's true. Maybe it is. Just like Bibi said, an impartial investigation needs to be done in order to fully understand what actually transpired or what actually went wrong on October 7th or before October 7th. However, it's good that Israel is beginning to make attempts to clear up, to fight back against the PR wars. They are winning the grand wars, but they also need to win the PR wars. The public perception currently is more like Israel is the aggressor, but that's not true. So it's a good thing if they will continue to push back against these narratives, continue granting interviews like this, answering all these tough questions. At least give people a window, give the public a window to what is actually happening on the Israeli side. Because as a matter of fact, what everyone is seeing now in the media is the things happening on the Gaza side. The malnourished kids, the sick ones, the dead ones, everything, we are seeing them on the Gaza side. So I think Israel should be more serious in trying to fight these PR wars. They need to.